On this episode of Playlog, we're talking about confusing indie game titles, reviewing what we've been playing, and which upcoming summer games we're excited about. Oh man, do we leave that in for an intro? We don't know. Hey guys, CGDannyB back in with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. I literally just got back from vacation, took a shower, and sat down to record this podcast, so forgive me if I'm out of sorts today, but of course, I can't talk indie games alone because alongside me I've got my partner in crime, the badass who put this whole damn doc together, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. What's poppin'? How you doing?
I am doing okay. I am doing very warm mostly.
Oh, you're still Jacob McCourt. Dang it. No, I didn't fix it.
No.
I'll just hide the name tags. That's the overlay. There we go. We don't need name tags this episode.
I could pretend to be Jacob, but I'm not that smooth yet at content
smooth.
creating.
Oh my god, Jacob's smooth. Am I right?
I thought your episode was pretty smooth, the two of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, Jacob's a sweetheart. Jacob's awesome. For anyone who doesn't know, if you didn't see last week's episode about the play date, go check it out. But yeah, Jacob discovered me through the episode of the 6-1 IndieCast. Like, ooh, this guy's kind of cool. Followed me and then said, hey, if you're going to PAX, I'm like, I'm not. He's like, you should. I'm like, I guess I'm going to PAX. So we did the DS panel, the retrospect of the DS. We picked our top 11 games for the DS, and then the audience was able to come up and suggest new ones. And then after we had a full list of 15, they had to be like, all right, I want to put on this game, but I think we should take off this one. Then they got like, I think it was like 30 seconds to like, okay, should we, this game was good, this game was bad, and blah, 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 blah. And then as a panel, we're like, I agree, I disagree, thumbs up, thumbs down thing. So that was really fun. I enjoyed being a part of that. Spectrobes, spoiler alert, made the list. So we out here standing Spectrobes. But yeah, so I made fun of Jacob for not having me on video game trivia yet. So maybe next PAX, we'll never know. We'll see.
Hopefully.
But yeah, check out Jacob McCourt. He's not on this episode. Stop plugging him. Anyway.
Speaking of plugs.
Plugs? Oh, right. You're right. I totally skipped that part on my own. I was going to write to the next part. Speaking of plugs, if you guys hadn't seen yet, I posted a video last week, over the weekend. When did I post that? Time's strange.
Over the weekend, I think
it was over the weekend. I posted a video about 10 games if you're waiting for Doom the Dark Ages. I got 10 Doom clone indie games for you, so check that out. The video's on youtube.com/CGDannyB, so be sure to watch that. I don't want to put my mug down today. I just want to sit here and sip on this hot cocoa. And I don't think
go for it.
Video listeners might have just seen me hold this like a majority of this episode so far. I need something. Ooh, my fucking mic. I love the squeakiness. I don't know if it comes through Discord, but the little.
It does.
Yeah, I need a mic arm. We're crazy today. Anyway, yes, please check out the Doom video. I appreciate it. Some of you already have ready. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. I did have someone comment. I think they're Russian, so I don't know. I never know when there's a foreign comment on there. If they misunderstood something, if it is a genuine hate comment or what's going on. But it literally is just, no is the comment. So I went, problem? And they haven't responded yet. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they just hate Doom clones. If somewhere in their heart, they're like, you left one off that should have been on here. I don't know what it was. But
okay,
comments are fun to think about. Just don't be mean.
That's true. Just... Why would you go no and then not explain yourself?
Exactly. Weirdos, but if you're watching this episode, please explain yourself. I'm confusion.
Yes.
Now, typically, this is where we'll break the ice, where we talk about your questions that you can write in with using the link in the description where you ask your questions about gaming, content creation, life, etc. We did get someone to write in this morning, maybe just a few moments before we got down to record, but I'm going to save that for next week because you came in ready to be like, you know what? Just in case we got any questions, what are we gonna ask? And Tofr, I'm gonna play this out like it's a conversation. So pretend I'm just sitting here drinking my hot cocoa, and you're gonna start a conversation. Go for it.
Hey, Danny.
Yo,
with summer finally arriving here in Belgium, I was wondering what game has like this ultimate summer vibe for you.
Ooh, good question. I'm trying to think. Right? So when you put this one on the doc, I had to think. I could not get the Crush House out of my head. I want to play the Crush House so bad. After we played it during Next Fest, It's rent free in my head, man. It is definitely one of my most anticipated for the rest of the year. I am so jazzed for that.
Okay.
That being said, for games that are already out that we could play now, I immediately jump to the Messenger, specifically the Picnic Panic DLC that is all like surfing and dodging octopus and all that stuff. I love the Messenger, and like I don't think the game proper gives a summer vibe, but I remember seeing that trailer for the DLC and be like, yeah, this is a vibe. I can see myself. I don't even like coconut, but I can see myself drinking out of a coconut with a little umbrella while playing this game. That's lit. That's a great one. Do you have any summer game vibes?
The first game that popped to mind was Stardew Valley, because the summers in Stardew Valley are really summery.
But
that's only one season in the entire game.
Yeah.
So I decided to go for Fall Guys.
Okay, you know what? I see it.
It's just got this vibe, like being at like in and around the pool, and shooting water guns at each other, and like having fun until the sun goes down late at night.
Or you fall
I just
and
get
die.
that kind of vibe.
No, that's valid.
Or you fall and die.
I like that. I haven't played Fall Guys in a minute. I think Fall Guys has been in that spot where I might hop back in a nice mug. I might occasionally hop back in to get like the new skins. Like I remember when the Shovel Knight skin dropped, I was grinding to get enough of the points to buy the skin. And then I did the same thing for both the Cuphead and Mugman skins. Now I think most of the time you could just buy them. I forget how the whole shop changed, but Fall Guys is the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll go back to Fall Guys.
It's fun to return to now and again. Although I have to say, like, the newer levels never live up to the OG ones.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, I don't necessarily say they make them harder, but they're definitely different. Like I remember grinding out to get good at Slime Climb, the freaking I got really good at that. And then the next season, I'm like, man, I'm getting trashed. I'm really bad at this. Like, I think I'm good. Let me know when you got a CGDannyB skin, and we'll come back.
That would be cool.
I'd love it. Maybe I'll be the next Fortnite creator one. I know there's a bunch of creators out there deserving more than me, but I'd be lit in Fortnite. I don't have any emote ideas. Oh man. But yeah, let us know what your favorite summer vibe games are in the comments below, or if you're on Spotify, DM me on Instagram. Let me know what you're thinking. See, I was talking to Spotify audience, but I was giving them like the winky like eye raises, and they won't be able to see that. So Spotify, just pretend I raised my eyebrows to you. But next we will hop into some quick indie news. I didn't do timestamp. I didn't start the doc. Now we're already fuck. I ruined it.
Oh man.
And I got to do it the old-fashioned way, man. My life's over. But first on the quick indie news, we've got The Descendant is finding success thanks to a name mix-up with the first Descendant. So this one is from Alex McHugh over at PC Games, and is that PC Games Network? Is that what it is? PC Games N? I have no idea what these websites. So many of these websites.
I guess.
PCGamesN.com. So thank you, Alex, for your article. Let me see. I have not pre-read these articles, so I'm going to be doing some jumping around. Forgive me.
Okay.
Naming something is a funny old business. Get it right and it'll stick with people for decades. Get it wrong and you'll be looking down the barrel of a forgetfulness gun. Or worse, someone could even mix it up with something else. Excuse me, hot chocolate burps. That might be what is happening in the case of the first Descendant and a small episodic adventure game by the name of, you guessed it, The Descendant. Let me see. Outside of their names, there isn't much that links the two titles, though both the first Descendant and The Descendant center their themes around the end of the world. The Descendant is an indie adventure game which dates back to 2016, with a larger title being an upcoming looter shooter. They're both free, at least in part, which definitely doesn't help the potential confusion some players might have been experiencing. In recent weeks, The Descendant has had a surge in player numbers beyond anything it's ever seen its entire lifespan. On June 10th, the game was averaging around 1,000 players at any time. Not bad for an 8-year-old adventure game, though its first chapter being free doesn't hurt its prospects. On Tuesday, June 11th, however, the game rocketed up to a colossal 54,689 players. These numbers have yet to drop either. At the time of writing, 25,500 players are in-game in The Descendant.
Damn.
Are you familiar with either of these games? Like either one on your radar?
No, I looked up the first Descendant. Apparently that's coming out next week.
Yep. Yep.
So I get that the names can be confusing, but like one of these games is 8 years old and the other hasn't released yet. So I don't really get it.
The only thing I can imagine, right? And I don't know the audiences. I think there's people in our space, people like us who are doing I'm following games and keeping track of games and doing this so you can differentiate the first Descendant and the Descendant, or like anything that has those similar names. I remember the Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds debacle. And like, even to this day, I'm like, I know which game is which, but I have to stop and think, I'm like, wait, Outer Worlds is the Obsidian. Yeah. So I have to piece which one's which, but I know this separation. But seeing those moments of someone who might be like, Mom, I saw this game on the showcase. Can I play it? And then they see, oh, the Descendant, this must be the one. And now seeing like the first Descendant and also the free chapter 1 of the Descendant, which could be like, oh, the first episode of the Descendant. Yeah, I'm sure there's some crazy mind thing of like, I've mixed up these titles. And that's why they're downloading this first one and be like, Mom, this isn't anything like the trailer, but it's pretty fun, I guess. That's crazy. The first Descendant, I don't know that I'm going to get into. Yeah, free to play looter shooter. I played the demo and I thought it was all right. I think the big selling point for many people, many of the gentlemen playing this game, is that most of the female characters are caked the fuck up. There's there's some badonklers in there, let me tell you. But it's man. We thought Stellar Blade has some cake. Nah, you got me started on the first Descendant, dude. It's an adventure.
Listen, if we want badonklers this summer, we're gonna play the Crush House.
Listen, I'm here for it. Except what? That's August, September. When's that?
August.
August. All right, cool. That's still part of my summer. Let's get it, baby. Crush. Ooh. Now I'm sitting here trying to think, what could be like a fun like reality show stream to do with that? What reality bits and dumbness can I put into that to make a fun stream out of that? And now I got to piece it all together. We're doing an event for Crush House.
Nice.
But no, I think this is great for the Descendant. Even for like the case of it's the mishap of people picking up the wrong game. I think it's some people out there, and with the number of people playing it, people are into it. People are enjoying it. And if this headline is just like, oh, there's another game I could check out and the first chapter is free, sure, let's do it. So, sounds like a win-win to me.
Exactly.
Good dubs over there. Congrats, Descendant. First Descendant. Enjoy your release when it comes out. I'm excited for you. And all the horny clips I'll see on TikTok after the fact. That'll be great. On to our next news story. The shadow platformer Schim surpasses 200,000 wishlists and hops onto PC and console starting on July 18th. This one, just to give credit where credit is due, over on Games Press by, I don't see an author. There is no author, just in Games Press.
Oh.
Not really, there's a whole article, but there's really not much to say. Or the 2,000 wishlists, that's sick. You and I are both super excited for this game, really digging it. The art style, the monotone environments, just the fun gameplay loop. I don't know if you ever got back to play the rest of the Steam Next Fest demo.
I haven't, because I kind of want to save it for when the full game releases.
Fair enough. Good call. Yeah. This one is a part of that July 18th bundle where it's Schim, Bo, Path of the Teal Lotus, and Dungeons of Hinterberg. So It's gonna be a time. I'm like praying I get like a key for one of them sooner than later, so I could just be like, I played it now, and then I could talk about it. So I could just be like, these are the two I have to compete with. But yeah, Schim's great, and like the fact that it has 200,000 wish list is awesome.
Absolutely.
Because indie games always being so small, sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, what is their success rate? How big of a number are they aiming for? And we talk about Manor Lords months back. We were seeing like there was that 1 week difference where there were 1 million extra wish lists. We're like, what the fuck happened? Well, what's going on? I still haven't like yet to sit down and play Manor Lords, but clearly people are out there for it. Yeah. It's on Game Pass though, guys. You should check out Manor Lords. I heard it's great. But yeah, I mean, even 200,000, now that'll never translate to how many people actually pick it up day one. Well, I won't say never. Hopefully they get 200,000 pickups on day one, but
that would be fucking awesome.
That is 200,000 emails going on day one. Like, by the way, your game's finally out that you're looking forward to. And if even half the people pick that up, like, that sounds pretty great. So fingers crossed Schim pops the fuck off.
Absolutely.
I need my Schim. I'm going to play it so bad. Next up, Amazon Prime members can claim 15 more games at no additional cost ahead of Prime Day. This is on Eurogamer by Victoria Kennedy. Victoria, keep killing it. Tofr, you threw this one in. You threw it all in there. Not to read the article, but basically a bunch of games you can get through Amazon Prime Day. And there are some indie games in there. Do you wanna read out the indie ones that are on the list there?
I'm not sure which if I can name all of the indie ones, but I know that Forager is an indie game.
Sure is.
And a really good indie game. The highlight for me among these games is Card Shark.
Yes.
Which is this really fun game where you have to cheat at playing card games.
Oh man, Card Shark is so dope, dude. Such a unique one. Where I can't think of another game that does anything similar with the way you have to fold the cards using the controls and then label things and remember where you marked the card, and it's such a fun, and that's what indies are about, man. Those unique ones. Card Shark's sick. Card Shark's so dope.
I think Wall World is another one.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, is that the one that's a bit like Dome Keeper?
Yep. So Dome Keeper's the dome in the ground. Wall World, you're in a mech climbing up the side of a mountain. So you're still drilling into the walls and everything. It is basically just Dome Keeper at 90 degrees. But they're both fun. They're both really fun. I think I'm a little more impartial to Dome Keeper because I found that one first. But if you're I've had enough Dome Keeper today, Wall World's just as fun. It's really cool.
All right. And then Deceive Inc. is another one. Let me check that one out.
That's what I wanted to get into. It's that co-op stealth espionage type deal. Among Us isn't the way to describe that one. I'm not really sure. But Deceive Inc. looked really cool.
It does.
But
I don't really know how to describe it.
Easy, I got you. I can't type. Deceive Inc. Oh my god, okay, I got it. Easy. All right, easy. Deceive Inc. is shit. That didn't translate well. Deceive Inc. is a go undercover as the world's greatest spies in the tense multiplayer game of subterfuge. Disguises anyone, deploy an arsenal of high-tech gadgets, or neutralize the competition as long as you extract with the objective. No trick is too dirty when you work for Deceive Inc. It's got a cool
game.
Kind of We Happy Few art style a little bit. That 3D animation stuff. It looks fun. See, the screenshots are all very cinematic, so it doesn't really depict the gameplay all that well. But yeah, very positive on Steam. Only 4,000 reviews. Wow, I expect to be a little higher, but that's not on my wish list yet. I'm gonna do that.
So yeah, these games can be picked up ahead of Prime Day, but you have to claim them in all kinds of different ways. Deceive Inc. comes to you via the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
Forager is a GOG code.
Oh, I see.
Card Shark is through the Epic Game Store. It's a lot of work, but these games are worth it. Basically.
I also think, if I'm thinking of the right game, I think Solstice is also indie. I think is that a Souls-like?
No idea.
Yeah, Solstice hack and slash by Reply Games. Stop playing the trailer. Okay. But yeah, if you check it out, Amazon Prime. Actually, so I don't know if my brother ever redeems these because he doesn't play on PC. So I might just steal his Amazon to redeem these and get Deceive Inc. And I have Forager on Switch. Might just get them all to have them, but there's good games here. There's some good games in this list, so I might snag those up.
Yeah.
And then leading into our next and final quick indie news, Slay the Princess dev encourages players to pirate its viral game instead of watching it on YouTube. Oh, I didn't read the headline like that, and now hold on. No, I'm a little shocked by this headline. You can always buy a copy later if you think the game was worth your money. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. Thank you, Vicky. Indie dev Black Tabby Games has deleted a series of tweets in which the studio had encouraged...
I have to interrupt you. Yes. They didn't delete those comments, those tweets.
Yeah, you said, so that was a shadow ban thing? Or that was a...
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Come on, Vicky, what are we doing? You gotta get the facts right. I'm just kidding, Vicky.
No, but most press that reported on this story said that the developer deleted the tweets, and they didn't. They just didn't. They're still online.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they just went to Twitter, because I've had those moments where I tweet and I'm alive on Twitch. I'm like, oh, no one liked my tweet, and they're like, Danny, I can't find it. I'm like, I'm not sure why you can't find it. It's there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I included this article firstly because I think it's amazing that Markiplier started playing this, as doing a Let's Play series of Slay the Princess, and the game has gone absolutely viral because of it. And the remarks made about pirating the game is referring to the fact that the developer wants everyone to experience the game for themselves first before watching someone play it, because every playthrough is such an individual experience. Like, watching a Let's Play is not going to give you the entire experience of playing this game.
Right. It's very much like when Undertale, everyone was streaming, like the Game Grumps played through Undertale. And it was a lot of like, hey, play this game for yourself first. Like, I don't think there was so much of a conversation like pirate my game before this, that, and the other. But we talked about this a couple weeks ago with Ultra Kill. And it's such an interesting thing where I feel like as the developers, if they say it, like, I'm like, they're comfortable with it. I just always wonder what the blowback of that's going to look like. Like, if in 4 years' times we've had like 200 developers say like, yeah, pirate our game before you buy it. And then all of a sudden that's everybody's mindset for every game. Like, I don't know. There's just that pit in my stomach. I'm like, I hope this doesn't go wrong.
Because it's a dangerous slope to be on.
Yeah. I still haven't played Slay the Princess. I think you have, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I need to get to that one. And it's on my list. I just think I each time I'm like, let me play something old. It's like there's 5 new ones. I can't do something old yet. But no, I definitely want to Slay the Princess.
If you need something to play like during the Halloween period on stream, this is a fun one to stream because like it's a game that's all about dialogue.
Yeah.
But dialogue is like there's for every moment that you get to choose what to say, there's like 7 or 8 different options.
Yeah.
And it branches out like amazingly, and I think this could be a fun one to stream.
Yeah. Fuck. I want to play it. I really do. That being said, I'm playing like 4 other games right now, 2 of which we'll talk about later. Actually, now I just added 1, 3 of which we'll talk about later. But yeah, no, I love seeing any time that an indie game hits the masses like that. Like Undertale was one of those. And I think it hits that spot where people still don't quite. I don't think people look at Slay the Princess and go, "This is what an indie game is." Awesome. I think they see like Slay the Princess sounds cool. And they might acknowledge an indie game. I don't think that like opens the door to them like, this is my gateway to indie. But like down the line, I'd love to hear someone start their podcast, be like, I started playing indie games because I watched Markiplier play Slay the Princess. I'm like, this is such a unique and fun experience. I got to see what else indies have to offer. Like somebody will. But no, this is great. Seeing everybody. Like I said, I was at the cabin this week and I kept seeing tweets about Slay the Princess. I'm like, why is everyone talking about it so much? Like, I'm glad, but what happened? But I wouldn't sit there. My friend Spencer kept calling us all iPad babies every time he pulled out her phone. I'm like, shut up, Spencer. Leave me alone. I have to check my analytics sometimes. Leave me alone. I'm trying to do something. But yeah, I'd pull out my phone. I'm like, Slay the Princess. Like, iPad baby, put it away. We're talking. I'm like, okay, Jesus. Let me. So. Then I'm like,
you youths with your smartphones.
Listen, I had to check my stuff. Sometimes the conversation about stuff I didn't care about. There was a point we're talking about space. And I'm like, space is dumb. So I just scrolling through Instagram. Leave me alone. My attention span's only so long. Oh, man. But yeah, if you guys have played Slay the Princess, tell us what you think. No spoilers, please. But yeah, I might put down the Wheel of Shame where that might be a good October lock-in. See, it's just like, man, October's like so close yet so far away. We still have like 3 months before October. So I'm like, shit, do I do it all? I think they also announced the Switch and PlayStation version, if I'm correct. So that might be the way to go.
Yeah, a physical version, and it's coming with a big update that's going to add even more to the game.
Do you know how soon that update is?
Let me check.
Bet.
Slay the Princess.
Slay the Princess. Slay the... Oh, it's a chant.
Does it mention... in the fall.
In the fall, cool. We take that. We stand. Wait, isn't it summer? Never mind. I'm. Never mind. Shut me up. don't listen to what I said. Don't listen to what I said.
Didn't hear a thing.
Oh man, this is why advice for everybody. When you go on vacation, take an extra day off, because even when you're like, hey, I'm back today, I'll do this thing, you're still not back. You're mentally not back. So like, take the day to recoup. So yeah, don't come back right away. Anyway, that's the quick indie news. No specific topic of the show today. I guess we're just going to talk about what we've been playing. I think
you should go first.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm really curious about your first game. So
I've been playing #Blood, and I've talked about this quite a bit. I played it not this past Nexus, of the previous one, and that was where I'm like, this is really fun. But it is a top-down adventure game where you play as Becky Brewster, who comes from a line of vampire slayers, and she's trying to like go to high school, make friends, and all the while there's just vampires everywhere. You end up fighting them with, so you join the school field hockey team that you upgrade over time. You add an umbrella for like defending and gliding down. You add a shovel so you can dig up stuff like loot and everything. But you just run around town and just start swinging this field hockey stick in this very Saturday morning cartoon style. It is so much fun to look at. It is just, it's charming. It's funny. Over the weekend, because I played a little bit before I left for vacation. While I was on vacation, I'm like, guys, I need to take a selfie. In the game, your menus, and I didn't pull up any footage, I could do that. Your menus are all based on like social media. So there's a social media website called Perch.
Oh.
And what'll happen is you'll post a selfie and then people will comment on it. That doesn't do so much as far as progression. That's like achievements. But as you meet with a friend, he's like, I need you to find 8 nails scattered throughout the graveyard. You'll end up running in. Forgive me, I think audio's gonna start blaring on this one. Lol, psych, just kidding, it didn't. We're good. Just kidding, it did. Hold on. We're back. We're doing the damn thing. And Tofr's gone. I gotta fix Tofr.
I'm gone.
And nope, not gameplay folder. And nope, that's the document. Recording plays. Okay.
Third time's a charm.
Oh, we're gonna title this episode "It's a Mess." It's a mess. We're back. Let me get a couple videos ahead here so I can get a little more action. You big, smelly, stinking, stupid. I swear to God. Audio listeners, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you. Anyway, focus. We in. Yeah, so social media, right? So you'll meet with a friend and they're like, I need you to go find 8 nails here, there, and the other. You'll pull up Perch on your phone. And you'll see like your friend made the tweet, the Perch about like, oh my goodness, I need all this hardware stuff, but you have to be 18 to buy a drill and blah, blah, blah. And then people will comment on there to give you kind of hints where somebody be like, hey, I don't know you, but I saw your tweet. They're trying to give away a car at this local mall. If someone was to get me a bunch of raffle tickets, I might buy you that nail gun you're looking for type deal, right? She's like, okay, got it. So I have to find this guy in the mall, talk to him, do this. So as you're progressing through each like part of the mission, they'll update it because someone else will comment on your post, which will tell you like, oh, awesome. Now you should come back to me in hashtag such and such part of town, or meet me at hashtag hospital or whatever to like find out where you go next. So like, I love the uniqueness of the menus. There's been a couple times where I got a little bit lost where I'm like, okay, that might be a little bit too much of a hint than a statement of where I need to go. But that was so rare. Like I still figured out where I needed to be. Like for video watchers, there's a part in you have to explore the school and find a bunch of stuff. This is probably where I got lost the most. There's a point where I had to go somewhere and I couldn't find it. But you could blow up holes in the walls, which was like, oh shoot, I had to find a certain spot to blow up. And then I was able to progress. But once I figured that out, it was smooth sailing. I think the trouble that I've had so far is the bosses. They are kind of rough. Some of them are pretty brutal. And that might just be a skill issue for me. The first boss wasn't so bad. I think I died to it once, then beat it. The second boss made me want to curb stomp myself. I was so pissed. It is, I won't spoil who the boss is or anything, but there weren't a lot of reads on like, oh, he's going to attack from this side. It would just kind of happen. And then when there were reads, there was very little time to dodge it. To kind of build out how it worked, as you beat stage of the boss, it would get like more like limbs, and if you walked in its radius, it would like stomp and try and hit you. Sometimes those limbs were right next to each other, so if you try to dodge roll through one, you would trigger the first one, but then initiate the second one. And if you would either roll back, you'd be jumping back into where the damage was taking place, or you would hit the limb and you'd get clipped into it, so you'd still be taking damage. That did make me a little angry. It was one of those nights where I had to like sit here and lock in. I had to turn every instance of anything off to get out of my face. Like I needed to focus and get this done. After it was said and done, I was like, cool, satisfying. I wouldn't put this on any kind of Dark Souls level of difficulty. But it did take me a bit for the second and then probably the fifth boss. I think I had to do a little bit of fighting there to get through. But aside from that, I'm in love with this game so far. It's everything I've wanted it to be. I can't wait to it's like I don't want to get to the end. I don't want to beat it. But I do want to see it through to the end. I want to see how like Becky's story falls together. Right now I'm in a spot where in that like, I don't know if I'm able to do what I'm supposed to do. I just want to be a regular teenage girl type deal. But it's like, Becky, you can't. You got to stop the vampires, queen. So I'm really digging it. I think I've seen some people. I've seen like the thumbnail for like full playthrough around 6 to 7 hours. I'm probably there, but not done with it. So I probably have more time to go with it yet. But it's a blast. I really dig it.
Okay, it looks fun. Like it's got this, I don't know, Cartoon Network kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that the combat feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's really simple. It's basically like a 3-hit combo. You take it like ding, 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 and then like, but the third one, if you're doing it in succession, is always like a big old clobber. I'm sure it's popped up once or twice. And then here's like the selfie mode. What's funny is you could take selfies, anything. Some like there's a clue there on the wall, right, of like one of the puzzles I'm about to solve. But I'll get back to the puzzle in a minute. But yeah, the team over at Exit 73 Studios, I think I said that right. They worked on a couple different animation projects. Nothing that's like, oh my god, I've seen this. But there was a spin-off version of OKKO, which is I think a Nickelodeon show, so I might have to correct me on that. But it's a very similar art style. All the animations are charming. Like everyone's got this little like bounce to them when they talk, and simple. Like some characters don't have a nose; it's just eyes and a mouth. But like you can see here with Morgan, in the big one she does. If you see her standing there in the world, she's kind of like milk toast looking. But it's fun. It's I can't say charming enough. Like I really dig this game. I'm excited to get back to it. But yeah, with the selfies, you can like pose and do different, like there's a sick face, there's like I got the snotty out of me face, and there's like posing as a vampire, like a while we were on vacation, I went to my friends, like I need you to stand still so I can take a selfie. Then I tweeted out a picture of Becky doing the vampire face and then me doing the vampire face. I'm like, even when we're not playing games, we're still thinking about it. Yeah, so it's awesome. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think I don't remember if there was a difficulty setting or if it's just one default setting. I don't know if I whiffed it or not, but yeah, I'm digging it. Once you beat the bosses, that's probably my biggest critique was how much I wanted to bludgeon my own head with those.
I don't think you're the only person, because right now it's sitting at a mostly positive on Steam.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at anyone else's reviews yet. I picked it up on PlayStation, was playing it again, loving it. Like it's always tough, right? Because it's not like I don't want to say anything bad about it. Like if something I didn't like, I want to mention it. But like even as I mentioned, like the bosses are probably my only issue. That's still, I don't want that to ever be like you shouldn't play if you don't like hard bosses. Because I still hard is such a spectrum. Where like I think time and time beating the boss should be fine. I just think it's one of those like, damn, he said hard bosses, I might pass. I don't want to do that.
It's a Souls-like.
Listen, Vampire Souls-like, I might fuck around with that. Got all this extra cooking here. Oh man, but yeah, #blood, really fun. It's also hard to post about it because like a lot of times, like maybe if you tweet and don't use hashtags, people will see it. But the game is a hashtag, so like I can't tweet about #blood without hashtagging #blood. So, but the dev team, they seem to be like, if you tweet about it, like I think each of my tweets about #blood, like the main page, like the Exit 73, as well as like two of the devs are just like, ooh, like good times.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man, but how about you? You've been playing some of them game assists?
I have. Now, I do enjoy a good visual novel from time to time.
Yeah.
And this is one I've been looking forward to for a while now. It's Tavern Talk.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
I know you're discussing it, but just for safety of the FTC, I have received a review code for this one. I'm not past where the demo is yet, but just in case they're like, "What the hell? You got a key?" It's been covered. We said it. Okay. Anyway, as you were.
All right. So in this cozy visual novel, you are the owner of the Wayfarer's Inn, which is a popular tavern in the fantasy land of Asteria. You get to meet a colorful cast of characters, which are all inspired by popular tabletop RPGs, and you serve them magical drinks, send them on their way with interesting quests, and just get to know them better throughout their epic wins and tragic failures. All the while, something big is threatening the world of Asteria. And the question is, and I don't have the answer to that yet because I haven't finished it yet, but are you or your friends going to get involved?
We don't know.
You don't know. Plus, there might just be more to your own character than they first let on as well.
Ooh, that's right. That's what I gotta know about.
Now,
go ahead. So how far into it have you gotten so far?
I am about 7 hours in, I think.
God damn. Okay.
I believe it's about 10 hours to complete, but I'm not sure about that because right now I'm on Act 2 and I just had an interlude.
Okay.
So it feels weird that there would be only 3 hours left of gameplay.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Now, most people who know of this game will probably call it D&D Coffee Talk.
Yep, it's like
and
yep.
I can confirm that it is D&D Coffee Talk, but I can also guarantee that that's a good thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the art is beautiful.
So beautiful.
The characters all look really good. The writing is great as well. The characters are never boring, which is cool. Like they might come off as like the cliches, from like if you like anything fantasy, then you're gonna recognize these characters. Like this is this trope or this is this trope, but they're never just that one-dimensional, and I really like that about this game.
Yeah.
There's more to them. There's a character arc going on. I haven't finished any of the character arcs yet because the game is still going, but you can see that there's progress being made for all of these characters. They're evolving as humans / vampires / whatever else there's
whatever other fantasy races out there.
Yeah. What else did I have to say? There is one slight issue that I have with the game, and I'm not the only one. I have noticed in reviews the game likes to hold your hand a lot. There's not a lot you can do wrong. Not even like, for example, you'd think in a game where you're mixing drinks that you can make mistakes mixing your drinks, but you can't. If you make a mistake, the game just tells you before anything happens, and you just get to make your drink again.
Got it.
It's nice, like, and that it doesn't hold you back from like experiencing the game by doing something wrong. But on the other hand, it takes the agency away from the player a little bit.
Sure.
It's a visual novel, and it really leans into the novel part.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Yeah, I played the demo, and I think I got through not even an act. It's like the first two like events, I guess. There's one with Fable, and then there is the wolf lady who I always forget. She's like, call me that. Like, you come up with a nickname for her, and it's
Carolyn.
one of the, what is it?
Carolyn,
yeah. I got through like her part where her and Fable kind of mean, like, she shot me with an arrow. It's like, no, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. In my like having gotten the key, I've only played through the first section, where Fable's like, all right, I'm gonna go out there. Thanks for taking care of me. So I'm not anywhere near as far as I was before. But you would talk about like what the loop is. So like anyone who's played Coffee Talk, right, would be familiar. But like when you start the game, like what's that experience like for someone's like, I don't quite know what I'm looking at here.
Basically, you're getting to meet these characters who want to go on quests, and you can like by mixing your drinks, you can aid them on their quests.
Yeah.
Because the way you mix drinks is that you've got like the what do you call it?
Like 5 different aspects.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of what. Yeah, the stats from D&D are like ingredients for your drinks. So you've got strength, you've got dexterity, you've got all of that, and you have to mix the right combination to help these characters in their quests.
Yeah.
And that's where the real agency in this game comes from, because often they will like propose 2 ways of solving a quest.
Okay.
Either like, for example, they want more charisma so they can talk their way out of it, or they want more strength so they can fight their way out of it. And as the bartender, you get to decide what you're going to serve them and how they're going to tackle this particular quest.
Yeah.
And it's nice because that does have consequences. For example, you say that Carolyn got shot by Fable in your playthrough.
Yeah.
That never happened in my playthrough.
Oh. So is that because of... So is that the drink that I gave Fable that affected that? Is that the way I spoke to Fable?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Because I've kind of been going through... Because the part I've played is the beginning of the game, kind of been like W-keying that a little bit. I'm like, I've played this, I've experienced this, let me keep going. So I don't know if I've picked all the same things I did the first time around, and I will get that same narrative. So that's interesting to me. Now I'm like, oh, what happens next? What do we do? Yeah. Plus, you tweeted at me, you're like, yo, Polly and Scott from Monster Prom in here. I'm like, I know. Have you run into him yet? Have you seen them?
I have. They're it's fun to like run into them.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it to me at least, it felt a little bit forced.
Okay.
Because they're like in this setting, and minor spoilers maybe, but it's because of portals. They ended up in this fantasy world because of portals. But yeah, it feels a bit it's a nice touch, and I think that fans of the Monster Prom series will enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really necessary. That was the interlude that I mentioned.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, was just meeting these 2 characters. Cool. Yeah.
If that in any way, shape, or form turned into like a reflective crossover, where like if in Monster, I would like to see the Monster Road Trip specifically, but if there is like, oh, there's a portal, and then that gives me Fable from Tavern Talk or whatever as like a companion or something, I think that'd be lit. I don't think that's been a thing that's happened with Monster Road Trip. But then I could also see it being with MonsterCon that I don't think has a date of any sort. But if I'm walking around a convention and I see like the Rogue chilling somewhere, if I see Fable or one of the other characters, I see plushes of Ondu, I think it would be a fun little crossover for Monster Prom fans or Tavern Talk fans of Monster Prom. But man, what a time. I'm excited to get back to it. I'm like in that spot where when I started playing, I was in a Discord call, and it's one that I have to listen to and pay attention to so much.
Yeah.
Like I would either like to stream it, which I think right now in like the wake of everything going on, I'm like, I don't think I have the time to fit this one in. Or I just have to shut off the world and be like, sorry guys, I'm playing Tavern Talk. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me or my barbarian ever again. Like I need space. Yeah, man, I'm so excited to dig my teeth into this one. Like I really enjoy Coffee Talk. I still haven't finished Coffee Talk 2. Visually though, I'm all about Tavern Talk. What's going on here? Like for video listeners, you can see, but like there's the stained glass windows. There's the gorgeous like environment scanning in the background, all the expressions and just the detail on the character sprites, artwork, whatever. Gorgeous. I'm so excited to meet so many of the characters I haven't even seen yet.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, if you're thinking about picking it up, there's 2 bundles that the game is a part of. One is the talking bundle where the game is bundled with Coffee Talk 2.
Oh yeah,
which is
okay.
Like that's a really good bundle.
Get it?
And the other one is the Masters bundle where you get Monster Road Trip as the other game.
Guys, pick up both bundles. Get 2 copies of Tavern Talk. Those are awesome bundles. Those are sick bundles. I personally would probably go with the Monster Prom one.
You would.
I would. That being said, I think if you look at Tavern Talk, you're into it, and you haven't played Coffee Talk, they're two very similar things. Fantasy, you run a coffee shop, you run a bar or whatever, and you're talking to people, asking about them, building the drink that they want. Those are two very similar games. So if you think Tavern Talk looks fun and you're interested in that bundle, go with the Coffee Talk one as well. But also, I stand Monster Prom as a franchise, so I would pick that one. But yeah. Oh boy. Good times, hell yeah. Tavern Talk, #blood. You know, we got another game to talk about here. And got another game to talk about. So we know I do my Wheel of Shame over on twitch.tv/CGDannyB, where I'm like, I haven't played these games before, so I got to do it. This month we spun and got the return of Obra Dinn. Yes. So I played the first 3 hours of that. I am in a lukewarm spot right now.
Really?
When we started, I'm like, this is so dope. This is so awesome. The moment I found the first flash, before I get into it, if you haven't heard of Return of the Obra Dinn, basically it is this old ship that's been through some kind of catastrophe, we don't really know, and you're kind of sleuthing your way through the ship, finding the bodies, and then you're experiencing like, oh, so this is what happened, this guy got stabbed, this guy got thrown overboard, or like, oh, here's a missing piece of material. So you're like taking this in your notebook and solving it, but you have to match each body or each like memory with the name and the role of the person that like died there, right? Some of the bodies, the heads are blown off, some bodies are like mutilated, or they've been like inflated, that's a terrible word to use, because they've been like sitting in water, so like the body's all bloated. It's just like, I can't really make out who this is, but there's a multitude of different things that could happen to these people. So when I first got on the boat and I found the first body and did that first flashback, and I'm like, okay, so I think this is obviously the captain, so let me get in, solve the captain, how did he die, who killed the captain, or who did the captain kill, and everything. I was really into it. There's like the shock. I'm like, this is so cool. I love this. After that, I started to get a little overwhelmed, where in my head, I want to complete the one I started, where I'm like, I found this guy and now I have to go back and then, all right, so here's where he killed this guy, but hold on, what happened here? And then the next step, he gets killed, right? But like, I don't have the name for this person yet. So I know what he looks like. I know how he died, but I don't have the information to connect, like, here is who this person is. Now I had V Sweet in my chat, developer for I Am Myself making Just Keep Running. There's another plug for you, Sweet. You better like, comment, subscribe. But he's played it and he was telling me like, oh, you're doing this, and not spoiling, but kind of like holding my hand a little bit to be like, oh, so you got this. When this happens, you know you can solve it. So he's like, when you open the book and you see the clear picture, you can solve it. I'm like, okay, cool. How though? Because like, I don't have this information. I don't think I have this information. And he's like, if it's clear, you can. It might be harder, and there's like little triangles to show how hard it is. But like, there's the one dude with the tattoos. You watch him get like, spoiler alert a little bit, but you watch him get crushed by something. And everything I went through of like his memories they don't give a name. So I'm like, how could I possibly know this? So I'm like, you know what? Let me put this to the side. I'll come back. I'll figure it out. And then I do like another flashback, which gives me 5 or 6 new people, but then I have their face cleared. I'm like, how? How do I as Danny know this answer? So I'm like, I just have to keep going back. And like, as I go back, I'm like, I'm unlocking new stuff and finding more things, but then I have 14 unfinished paths that I didn't touch. And like, my brain wasn't vibing with that, where I'm like, I haven't finished something. And if I don't have the answer, but I should be able to finish it, I feel like I'm just unlocking too many new paths that I eventually will just have the spaghetti of knowledge that I don't know how to untangle. Along with that, I think the other issue I was having is the way to visit each flashback was a little tedious for me. Where like, if I would pop into, we'll go with Tattoo Guy. I go into his thing and it's like, actually in the last flashback, you would have found it. If there was a way I could just tab through that part of the story where I'm like, here's flashback 1, here's flashback 5. And I could just go left trigger all the way through and visit each of those scenes, that'd be great. But what you have to do is, if you're like, you open the book, you're like, you have 5 flashbacks of this guy, 5 memories of this guy. You can go in, talk to him. But then if that's the wrong one, you have to back out through a door, go to the spot on the ship that has the right body or the right memory to find out where that person was. that became a little tedious for me, where I was like, fuck, if I could keep it organized, because then I have to open the map and be like, okay, the body's here. So up here, wrong one. So open the map again. Oh, it was on the other end. Got it. Okay. Oh, but there's this guy. This guy caused it. Oh, shit. Let me look at his memories. Okay. He's on a complete separate part of the ship and move all around. So that kept me like unfocused at times, where I'm like, I have the thing that I need, but me as Danny, like Danny, the player, doesn't know what I need. I don't know what I'm missing. So that threw me off a lot. I am not against saying that I think it was me streaming it that was like, I'm trying to solve puzzles for an audience. That might have gotten me just off pace from like, fuck, I'm not entertaining because we're all stuck on this puzzle that we don't know how to get past. But I did mention in chat where I was like, I know you're like, Danny, you have it, but you saying I have it makes me feel like I'm dumb because I don't think I have it. So you clearly see something that I don't, and I don't know what that is. So I'm like, fuck, this is frustrating to me now. I played a little bit more after stream and I solved like 2 or 3 of them. So I'm like, okay, I piece these together. But it's tough. I haven't played since my last stream, which would have been not this past Monday, but like the previous Monday. So it's been like 2 weeks almost since I've touched it. And I do want to go back and finish it. I all things considered, I'm enjoying it. But I like, if anyone's like, should I play Obra Dinn? I'm like, just so you know, here's where I floundered. Here's where I struggled. So keep that in mind if you go to play. Which is like, it almost hurts to say, because I really was looking forward to this. And I say that as I'm going to drop it and be like, it was the worst game I've ever played. That's not the case. But I definitely think I struggled with it more than I ever anticipated that I would. And I'm hoping I just hit that point where it all comes together. Like that night after I finished streaming, I had to look up like tips for Obra Dinn. Like, what am I supposed to do? What have I not been doing that'll make this experience more fluid for me? And I didn't really get anything that would have changed how I played it. So it was, one of those times. I rambled for 15 minutes. How you feel about that?
No, I get your frustrations. I still haven't finished it because I got stuck.
Yeah.
Because I thought I had it figured out, and then something's wrong, and I don't know which one of the people I got wrong, and then I stopped playing it for a while, and then I had to return to it, but I forgot about most of it. And I'd have to start all over again. Yeah. But like, I can imagine I struggled with it whilst playing it offline. I can't imagine the extra stress you must have while playing for an audience. Because this is a game where it's a lot of it is just backtracking.
Right.
And having another look and looking for small details. And I think that must be pretty hard while streaming. Yeah,
it was a lot. And then like, I was probably 2.5 hours in when someone's like, you should probably have a notebook. I'm like, well, dog, now I'm 2.5 hours in. You want me to just go write everything down? Like it was, I got to keep like second guessing my next sentence, because I feel like I'm like, I didn't like it. And that's not the case. I think this is a really cool game. Like it just experiencing those flashbacks and seeing like, you look around and do some stuff. But it's really cool. It is really cool. Like I won't take away from how like dope and why people love this game. I totally see it. But yeah, I'm thinking if there was the case of if I would go back and do it again, I think I would have taken this off the wheel of shame. I would have just been like, when that itch hits and I go to play Obra Dinn and I get to experience it, if I can struggle on my own to then eventually power through and be like, oh, this is what I had to do, as opposed to struggling for an audience, that's where I'm like, that's where I think it went wrong for me. I don't think this is necessarily like a stream game for me, for my audience to watch and enjoy. I think that's kind of where the problem fell. But I those were just some of my issues and critiques with Obra Dinn that I think don't necessarily need to be fixed, but they were like roadblocks for my enjoyment, I think.
I get it. Some of the details that you need to find are like so tiny and so easy to miss. I remember, like, it's been a couple of years since I played this, but I remember that there's a part where you have to find the some people's bunk number.
Okay, yeah. No,
and it's that. Like, it took me so long just to figure that out.
Yeah.
And then I started looking through all of these bunks, and I was like, oh my god, it's so obvious once you know.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of moments like that. Like you get stuck for a while, and it gets really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you figure it out, it's like, oh my god, it was right there.
Yeah, there were a couple like there's chapters, right? So when you open this book and you're keeping track of who died and how, I think it's like 8 or 9 chapters it's split into. Like you start at the end, you see like how the captain dies, who are the people who killed him, whatever. But from there, if you go down the list of names, you have like the captain, obvious. You could put that together. I think anyone, as soon as you load up the game, you can figure out who the captain is. But then you have his first, second, and third mate. And you kind of can be like, these are who those people are, but I don't know which one's first, which one's second, which one's third. And even as I locked those in, I still wasn't 100% sure, to later find out like 2 of the ones that I had weren't even second and third mate. I got the first mate. So I'm like, damn, I thought you were the guy, but you're not. So then as you go, you lock them in by getting 3 correct. So like when you start, you're like, okay, so I got the captain, I got the first mate, and then I got one of the passengers who got sick and died. I'm like, oh, you did it. These are officially locked in. You know for a fact that's who these are. 3 down, 57 to go. So then you try it again. You're like filling in this. I think this is Peter McJackson. He was one of the guys who worked underground, and that might be right. We'll find out later. Oh, this guy or this lady yelled out for her husband. And she was looking for such and such, but this guy actually talks to this guy in like every memory you have. So I think if she's talking to this guy, then second mate who has the same last name must be her, but also she has a split last name, which is the same as the captain. So she's siblings to one and married to the other. So like that red wire is really fun. I think it's just that like, I never have the moment to take the scissors and cut the red wire. So I can be like, that's the end of this story. It's always just dangling ready for me to find the next bit. And I think if I could get more of those final pieces of the red wires earlier, that way I can kind of piece it together, I'd be pristine.
Yeah. So I want to continue like a fun trivia game that started last week. Who developed this game, Danny?
Fuck me. It's
it's the same answer as last week.
I know, but last week was 2 weeks technically because Jacob's episode. Oh, fuck me.
He developed Papers, Please.
I know. Oh. Bob Thornton. That's his name. I don't remember.
It's Lucas Pope, Danny.
Lucas freaking Pope. I knew that. I'm going to forget that next time. I'm so bad with dev names. I feel so bad when a friend's like, yo, I was talking to such and such. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Who? I was like, shit. I'm so much better with studios than names of people. I'm sorry, people. Y'all suck. Yeah, Lucas Pope. I knew that. I would have remembered. If we let that sit, I would have woken up in the middle and like, it's this. I would have remembered. Sorry, Lucas. If you want to come on the show and tell us about your next game or tell us what we're wrong about Obra Dinn, you're more than welcome to.
No, but I get the frustration with the game, like when your chat is saying you've got this and you feel like you haven't got this.
Yep.
Like there's times when Return of the Obra Dinn makes you feel really smart.
Yeah.
And there's times when it makes you feel dumb as fuck.
So dumb. So dumb.
But like listen. If you felt particularly dumb during your gameplay, I have a story about like I'm doing a co-op playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 with our friend Daphne.
Exciting. Yeah. We love Baldur's Gate.
Yes. And last week we were playing. We had just done like this big battle.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that big actually. I was the only one who needed some healing. So I used the spell slot to heal myself.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Why are you doing that? We have a short rest." I'm like, "Oh, that's right. I forgot." And then literally 2 minutes later, I'm not even joking. It was literally 2 minutes. We had another combat. I had taken damage again. And I used a potion to heal myself. And she was like, "Why are you doing this? We have a short rest." I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot that we mentioned that 2 minutes ago."
But you were in combat, or you just finished combat? Okay.
Combat.
Good. Okay, because you mentioned there was combat, like, but you can't short rest during the combat. I understand the argument. That's funny though. What class you play? What class is it?
I can't remember.
Warlock?
I'm like the healer of the
cleric
of our. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. I've never played a cleric. I don't know. No, because I always forget what the weird thing is. I'm sure some D&D head in the comments can clarify, but my first D&D character, and then also my first Baldur's Gate character, was Giuseppe the Tiefling Warlock. And Warlocks have an... I love my boy Giuseppe. He's... I forget who clarified it for me, but you're like, oh, Giuseppe's autistic. I'm like, are they? Like, so Giuseppe is terrible at social cues, doesn't understand. Mm-hmm. And when I played Giuseppe in actual D&D, the trinket I got was a mummified goblin hand. And his whole thing was to be like, this is a cool thing that I have, and I'm going to use this instead of my actual hands. So he sometimes picks something up using the mummified goblin hand, or like, over there, and point with the mummified goblin hand. But he also had mage hand. So sometimes he would hold the mummy hand and then have just like a walking hand around. But Giuseppe's whole thing was, I like knowledge. So he'd find a book, read the book. We did rolls every night for how many chapters I'd finish. And when I completed the book, I'd find either a bookstore or someone else. Like, do you have any books? I have this one. If you'd like it, I'd like to trade for this one. And then like we trade books, read it, do it again, all over the place. Eventually started a book club in D&D where we read a romance novel called Rose Petals in the Wind. My character is reading it, and like the barbarian's like, what book? And and it's like, oh, it's a romance novel. Just seeing what the locals like. He's like, I read? Like, we can get you a copy. And then all 4 party members, we got the book. We're like, all right, everyone roll. How far did you get? Oh, did you get to see where Rebecca? Oh, buddy. Whoo, you got a chapter ahead of you. It was, that's where our DM stopping us like, I have a big boss battle coming up, and you guys are doing a fucking book club. Never would have imagined. D&D's great.
Amazing.
Baldur's Gate's great. So Daphne, stop picking on you. Heal how you want. You grown. Now we just do that out of spite. Now you just heal because you want to. just use those spell slots.
Listen, I told her this as well, but I've been playing a D&D campaign for I think over a year now. We never use short rests.
Yeah, we barely do.
So I just forget about those.
Yeah. I'm in my current D&D campaign, I'm a bard, and I never think to use whatever the fuck the short rest one is, because we all either just heal, but like half of us have either mass healing word, or mass shit. What are the 2 healing spell? Whatever the mass healing ones are, like 3 of us have those. So we're often like, you get hurt, ding, 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 and it's done. So like we never use a short rest, but we don't sleep. We grow. All right, I'll put a timestamp in for a Baldur's Gate section. We'll go from there. All right. But that's what we've been playing this week. Moving on to the indies releasing this week. It's a quiet week. It's a quiet little week. This is for the week of June 7th through July 3rd. On June 27th, not June 7th. June 27th, we've got Chia getting its Switch release. If you haven't seen Chia, it is a third-person open-world game. Imagine Moana meets Breath of the Wild. And as Chia, you can turn into different items, the fruits, the animals, all the stuff. And there's a crab. You turn into a crab and scurry around the beach. You sail boats. It's a good time. And then also on June 27th, we have the Stray Gods Orpheus DLC coming to PC, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. So if you like musicals about Greek gods and Orpheus, there you go. It's kind of nice. Oh man, you jump into either of those?
I might jump back into Stray Gods because I never finished that one.
Yeah, I gotta do that too. Well, I gotta start Stray Gods, but I make that whenever that happens. Just do the whole back to back because I'm not a DLC person. Very rarely do I get in DLC. Well, maybe more for indies because I think they're short experiences. But like the amount of times I've bought like a gold edition of a Ubisoft game and never touch the DLC or never go back and play them because it's like I've gotten so far out from the game and I have to remember the controls and everything. I think for a case like Stray Gods here, where I haven't played the main game and the DLC's coming out, I could just back to back that all together. So that might be the plan someday. But
cool.
Sick. Now on to your favorite indie game. Again, we did have the write-in, but I'm going to push that to next week so you can kind of keep everything level-headed. And Tofr came up with another great question in case no one writes in. What's our number one game to look forward to this summer? Now, you bastard, you said our number one game. You're like, I have 2 honorable mentions. And so I'm going to let you start. You want to start with an honorable mention and we'll like, maybe not steamroll, but, talk about them a little bit. Let's see what we got going
on. One of my honorable mentions is a game that you already mentioned during the podcast, and that's the Crush House.
Yeah, baby.
It's my August pick, and I just need to figure out how to play it. Yeah. Because I struggled with the demo, but the idea of it is fascinating. And like playing the demo, it felt like the gameplay is going to be really good. I just need to figure it out.
Yeah. I'll save the spot because you already mentioned it, but I already mentioned I'm so ready for Crush House. I'm like, I didn't expect that one to hit me so hard. And as I sit here, in the last couple weeks, I've binged through the last season of The Mole because the new season of The Mole starts next week or in like 3 days. I watched the new season of Perfect Match. Big Brother starts in a couple weeks. I just finished the Challenge All Stars 4. I'm on like a reality kick right now. So like when I see Crush House, I'm like, fuck, I want to play it right now. I want to play more Crush House. My teeth.
By the way, you mentioned The Mole. Do you know in which country that program was invented?
America. We make everything.
No.
Was it Germany? Was German the?
It's Belgian.
Okay, all right. I see you, dog. You said it. Is the Belgian one? Is it in Is there an English translation for those? I've always thought about going back and watching other seasons of The Mole, but I've only ever seen the Netflix one.
I don't know if the Belgian version gets like translated to English, but the thing is like the current version of The Mole is way more reality television than the original was.
Okay.
Like it used to be on our public network.
Yeah.
And then it was mostly a game show. Where you had to where people had to figure out who the mole was, but now it's on another network and they've like really commercialized it. Like everyone has to get involved through social media to figure. You get these behind the scenes footage on this website or on Facebook or whatever and stuff like that.
That's a lot of extra steps. I'll just watch this on Netflix. Yeah. That's like Grimoire cards and Destiny. I ain't going to a website for that shit. I'm good. No, I really fucked with the first season of The Mole, and it took them like 2 years to make the next one. And then I just Googled the other day, like comes out on the 28th. I'm like, fuck, let's go. But if it's Netflix, they're probably doing the drop 4 episodes, then the next week 4 more episodes, and the next week the finale type deal. So
probably
we live with it. But we're talking about indie games, not reality show. But yeah, the Crush Houses.
What's your first honorable mention?
Man, there's so many fucking games. I told you before we sat down to record, like while I was on vacation, the July list on the Indie Informer release schedule fucking popped off. So I was like a million games. I'm going to put Bo Path of the Teal Lotus. Because that game looks lit. I recently bought 9 Souls, but I'm like, I want to play this, but I would rather play Bo. I want to play Bo real quick.
You'd rather play Bo?
I think, and like that's not any shot at 9 Souls. I think it was like Bo is so close, and I know 9 Souls just came out, but I'm like, I recently played the demo, and I want to play more of that. And I think I would be using 9 Souls as like a filler to like make me hold off until Bo's here. That being said, I still have 9 Souls. I have not even played it yet. It's sitting on my Steam Deck. But, yeah, Bo Path of Teal Lotus is... I talked about it 2 weeks ago on the podcast. Gorgeous, stunning. I love the art style. I love the music. The combat was fun. The puzzles are great. They just have something really cool on their hands there. So I'm ready for that one to drop, like, today. But not until the... Did the date change in that? I see Indian Informer has it on the 17th instead of the 18th. And I don't know if that's a typo or if that's...
let me check.
Yeah, but that's on the list because if it's the day before, then I could totally beat it in a single day to then prep for it. That won't happen. The One Piece is real. Can we get much higher? So high. Oh. I don't know what's up with me. No, it does say July 17th on Steam.
Does it?
Where'd I see 18th? Did that change?
I think it might have changed then.
Well, shit on a ham sandwich. Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, it must be Sunday. Hey, what's your next honorable mention?
My next honorable mention is a game that I've been waiting for a couple of years now.
Okay.
It's The Garden Path.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, this is a slice of life sim about the joy of gardening.
Yeah.
And I played a demo of this, I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it felt really good. And I've been waiting for this to release, and I'm so happy that it's finally arriving. Like, the art style of this one is gorgeous. It's not something we've seen a lot of yet.
Yeah.
And like the characters seem really interesting. It just feels like a really cool take on the farming sim / cozy game.
It looks gorgeous. I didn't pull this one up here, but I can pop it quick. It's like, take your time, Steam. There we go. I love the watercolor. Seems off. I don't think watercolor is the word for it, but like,
no,
it's beautiful. I love the way this one looks. I know I saw this at some showcase once upon a time. There's so many I couldn't tell you which one it would have been. But it looks awesome. That one looks really cool. July 30th, bet.
Yep. What's your final runner-up?
We've mentioned Dungeons of Hinterberg so many times. I don't want to beat the dead horse. You guys know I'm excited for that one. I think I'm going to go with... Oh, shit. Oh, no, I'm a Slider. I just saw Sliders on here. I didn't know Slider got a date. Yeah, July 24th, Slider. That game, I loved that demo. If you don't recall, that was like 10 episodes back. The whole world is one of those slide puzzles. And when you start on one piece, you solve a problem for somebody. You go back in, and they're like, oh, thank you so much. And they throw up a big piece on the map. So now you can slide those pieces around. You connect those two, go to the next one, solve that puzzle, get another piece, new part of the world. And then once you complete all those pieces, you slide everything together, get the golden path, complete that world, move to the next one. The demo was the whole first world. I suck at slide puzzles, but as I got into it and kept doing all the like Zelda, like classic Zelda-esque puzzle solving and everything, no combat. But it was so much fun. And now that I see that's on the list, yeah, that's on there. That's an honorable mention. Slider's lit. I can't wait to play more of that one.
I get that. Like, I think I mentioned it when we previously talked about this one, but I'm getting Carto vibes.
Yep. Very Carto.
And
very Carto.
I loved Carto, so I'm gonna pick this one up as well.
Yeah, kind of Carto.
I'm so glad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's get gaming. All right. Most excited summer game. What you got?
Well, you just mentioned not beating a dead horse, but I'm going to say Schim.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Shoot it up.
Like, that game is probably going to be one of the highlights of this year for me. So I had to pick it as my number one for this summer.
Oh, that's such a good one. It's so, that demo was so fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what we have this summer, right? Now, behind the scenes, when I do my top 10 games for whatever year, the way I do it is at the beginning of the year, I make a whole doc. And as I beat games, I'll add to it. And then I'll be like, did I like this more than this game? Yes. Put it in the list, right? Once that 10 is built, a game either becomes an honorable mention, it becomes a TBD, or it'll bump something down. So, like, I have a full list of 10 right now. And just looking through June, July, and August, where I'm like, fuck, things are getting knocked all over this list. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping, like, I want Schim, Dungeons of Hinterberg, and Bo, Path of Teal Lotus to all be in that top 10. But then I think Plucky Squire's still this year. And what else is like coming out? The Crush House is still this year. E.T. is still this year. Ete is still this year. But a lot of games. That's a scary list.
Yeah. So what's your number one pick then for this summer?
My number one pick this summer that I have to imagine will make that top 10 that I just talked about is the star named Eos. Man, the fact that recently got a date, I'm so jazzed. Played the demo on YouTube a while back for trial period if you want to check it out, but it's a first-person puzzle game. You're playing as a kid. Your mom's a photographer. She travels a lot, and you're taking pictures to kind of match previous work that she's done. And while doing that, you have to solve puzzles around like an individual room. So you'll go into a drawer, find a book page, open the book, put the page in there. The pages of the book will give you the clues to another puzzle. You go to the puzzle box, solve it, open it, you get the camera reel, but you don't have your flash. Now you got to solve this puzzle. It's just like a chain of events. But it's so wholesome. The demo ends in this kind of like I don't even know what words to use to describe how it was one of those like, okay, we're on the train, and then wait, everything's turning white. What's that ringing in my ear? Ah, thanks for playing. I'm like, no, please. I need to know what happened to my character. What was that? Go back. I played Beyond the Frame. I always forget the name of that game. Behind the Frame. Recently, I love the art style of that one. It's from the same team. Starting new ES is lit. I'm so jazzed to play that. That might just be my whole day. I'm gonna get up, download it on Steam the moment it drops, and just fucking go. Just go.
Yeah, I could imagine. It's another one that's been on my wish list for a long time now.
Yeah. Oh man, but those are the games we're looking forward to this summer. Let us know what games you are excited for. And if you don't know which games to be excited for, be sure to go over to youtube.com/CGDannyB and check out all my recommendation videos, because in the coming days, there'll be a July recommendation video for you to check out, which might have to be longer than most because it's a packed fucking month.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, that's a wrap on the episode. That is the end of episode 15 of Playlog Podcast. Tofr, thank you for joining me for yet another Indie Field episode.
Thank you for having me as usual. I'm glad you wanted me back.
Yeah, I was really. We were talking with Jacob about like the permanality of it, and he was like, "Actually, I can't do Tuesdays." I'm like, damn it, fuck! I guess I could Tofr back.
Second choice.
Well, also Will Smith said he didn't know what indie games were, so third choice. But
damn, that's a slap to the face.
Tell me about it. I don't know if that was intentional, but you nailed it.
It was intentional.
I am now sitting here in another spot where this has been a very fidgety episode for me. I've been sitting here playing with this pop socket again, and then I also have just been sitting here playing with the crank on the Playdate, just like under the desk. And I need to. My stimulation's crazy. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Playlog. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the episode, what games you're looking forward to, whatever you want to talk about. Tell us what your dog's doing this moment. Pick up your phone, look at your dog, and be like, my dog is pooping on the rug, and don't stop him. Just tell us what's going on. Tofr, if the people want to find you on the interwebs, where would they go?
They can find me as play.nice.kids with either dots or underscores between the words on all of these platforms.
Get them social medias. And of course, you can find me at CGDannyB across the socials. We posting indie stuff out here. We're doing the damn thing. And that's that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. I need lunch.